Hello, and welcome back to the Cooper Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back to talk about Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Yeah, we were coming off 2 losses. The champions were in town. It was a big test, but we came through with a good point, and we'll be getting into all of that after this. Okay, so we were back at Villa Park. Manchester City were the visitors, the champions. It was all last year. It was about the return of Jack Grealish when Manchester City came to town. This time, it was about Erling Haaland coming off 2 hat-tricks and how were we going to stop him. But he scored, but Noah, we did stop him. Tyrone had a good game, and we got the point. And our best performance of the season by far.
It's a performance that I think I've seen from Tyrone Mings before. And I'm not sure if you guys remember in lockdown, the first restart against Arsenal, he really tried to wind up Aubameyang, and he did it so successfully. And yes, Haaland scored the goal. It was such a good cross from De Bruyne. Look, people say Martinez could have done better. I think you get sucked in as a keeper for that sort of situation. An incredible cross, and Haaland's not going to miss that. And Mings did incredibly well the whole game. I just love seeing him on screen laughing and really getting underneath his skin. And that might have been the plan, but it was just so good to see that Villa was structured. We were incredibly structured. And then, obviously Matty Cash goes down. You're like, fuck, Phone's going to have an absolute day out, on Ashley Young. And then was my man of the match. Ashley Young wound back the clock for me. Incredible performance. Yep. And people could say we're disappointed with the point. We actually played relatively well, but you take a point every day of the week, and obviously VAR will continue to be VAR.
Yeah, well, that's it, Tommy. I mean, going into the match, it was going to be low expectations, but we all, I think, were a little bit surprised, maybe excited when we saw the lineup, because it was definitely a lineup that Stevie G went for energy and legs and youth, and it certainly paid dividends in the end, didn't it?
Absolutely, Scott. Where do we even start? There's probably so many talking points, and I'll try not to give a long-winded answer. But, I think Mings now, it's probably water under the bridge. I think we could see that mentally he was still adjusting after what happened. My one critique would still be, and I think this is general consensus, I think McGinn probably needs to be benched. That was probably one of the turning points of the game. Amazing goal. Bailey's just been red hot, and we all said this. We said a fully fit Leon. We've been hearing rumours of his maybe linked to Ajax, but I feel like he's really committed to the Villa in his post-match interviews. And I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty sure when I read his post-match interviews, I read him in a Jamaican accent. So, Ollie worked his socks off. You see Guardiola giving him praise, just saying, we defended well, and then we'll just counter those long balls over the top. They couldn't deal with Ollie. And it's funny that, they've got money all over the park. The goal they scored, yes, Haaland scored. Yes, I triple captained him in fantasy. But, Haaland and De Bruyne are $200 million combo in 2 players. And, Haaland, I'm not going to lie, I did say he's going to tear the Prem apart. I'm glad to see it. But, I could deal with 1 goal against Villa and us drawing. In the past, we've always performed well against the big teams. We know that's never been a problem. I do hope this is maybe a springboard now for us to step up our game. I know we've always critiqued Stevie G. I would love him to, just bounce back, get everyone playing well again. I think that we haven't seen the injection of Dendoncker yet. Or even Bednarek. I think those are 2 good acquisitions that we're yet to see unleashed. The Coutinho goal, where do we even start with that? I didn't want to steal anyone's thunder, but I think there's a lot of angry emojis. It's probably the last one everyone's used.
Yeah, well, that's it, Aman. I mean, Noah said, in the first half, we didn't create a lot. City were definitely on top, especially in that first half an hour. But in the end, we probably had the best chances to actually win the game. There was the Jacob Ramsey one where he took the bad touch. And then, of course, the VAR controversy with the flag going up early and the whistle being blown before Coutinho could stick it in. I don't know, who knows if the whistle hadn't gone, what would have happened there. But I certainly felt a little bit aggrieved with it.
Yeah, I think, since VAR has been implemented, they've been told to keep their keep their flag down, and just don't understand why he didn't. Type of thing. Sometimes they don't even put their flag up, and players have to put in like a 20-meter sprint, and that risk of pulling like the hammy or something like that because the flag hasn't gone up, even though it's obvious offside. And like this week, the last 2 weekends, there's been some atrocious VAR calls. So yeah, like Tommy said, or like you said, Scott, we don't know what would have happened if the flag didn't go up, because obviously Edison sort of didn't really attempt to save it, but it was a top-notch shot. Like, it was top bin. So
I don't see him saving that.
It wasn't saving.
Power, you couldn't get any better than that.
So it would have taken something special for that to be stopped. But yeah, we had chances. I think we sort of, our setup, it's the best we've sort of been under Gerrard. And I sort of reminded me, like, obviously we didn't, smash City out the park, but it reminded me of something similar when we beat Liverpool 7-2, where we, purely just from the counter destroyed teams. And I think if you have a striker like Ollie Watkins in your front three, a player like Leon Bailey in your front three, some people might see it as negative football, playing defensively, playing on the counter, but you can proactively be a team that plays on the counter. And I think, that should be the way we should set up to get the most out of our players, because, Bailey's quick as, Watkins is quick as, Buendia's got pace, Ramsey's got pace and power as well. So, like Tommy said, hopefully this can be a springboard. Be interesting to see how we go against teams that are probably, the same in terms of level that we are. We're going to give them possession. Are we going to try and dominate? Obviously, that hasn't worked the last few early games. So, yeah, hopefully next 2 games, I would say probably 2 of the biggest games in Steven Gerrard's career. Let's see how they go.
Absolutely. And Noah, yep, go Tommy.
I wanted to inject for a sec, Scott. Touch on the VAR. It's okay though, because after the game, they've reviewed the footage and the referee personally apologised to Stevie G. So thanks for taking the 2 points, you pricks. And I think something we're forgetting that I don't know about you guys, but I literally don't think I could find 2 or 3 people that had the same 3 points given to players. The match ratings. For me, I think someone that, he's come into form and under the spotlight right now is Dougie Luiz. I mean, him and Kamara have turned into a dynamic duo. We're not even looking at Dendoncker, which actually I think he's third in the league for most interceptions, crucial interceptions. It's like 2.6 per game. So I think them two alongside Dougie could be pretty dangerous. Yes, if that's at the expense of Ramsey and McGinn, which to be honest, I think he's deserved to be axed for a while now. Because even when we play well, he's anonymous. When we play shit, he's obviously the I don't know. I feel like he's the black sheep that everyone just targets. But yeah, no, I think that Dougie's been a superstar, and I probably would have been happy if we got 30 mil for him. Before the window closes, we bring in Dendoncker, makes sense. But if this is the type of player that he's becoming now, and he's starting to shine, I really hope we could secure him onto a 3+ year deal.
Absolutely. And speaking about those games ahead, Noah, you will be there, of course. How excited are you, first of all? And second of all, how do you think we'll go? Do you think this will be the springboard that we're all hoping it will be?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Bags are packed. My flight's at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. So I think I'm leaving for the airport at 10 o'clock. Mum and Dad want to leave a bit early. Parents always a bit nervous.
Don't know where your Villa kid, surely, mate.
Nah, wearing my full Mulgrave tracksuit, so got to travel in comfort, tracksuit and slides. How I think we'll do, I think it could be a bit of a springboard. I think Villa looks so structured, but it's a danger game against Leicester. They're playing, like we saw it against West Ham. They're playing terrible football, Leicester City. So to go to their ground, but they're obviously going to be up for it. They're going to be fired up. They've got 2 rapid and kind of in form strikers. They both scored last night. So Leicester's going to be a tough one. And we honestly should be betting Southampton on the Friday night under the lights at Villa Park as well, which will be special. International break. Who knows how we're going to go with that? Like, obviously, a bit of time off. Hopefully the boys can gel that aren't going. I'm not sure how many will go on international break. Obviously, Matty Cash injury, he'll be around the group. So hopefully he can rest up and be better.
Are you in the Holt end?
No, I'm in the Upper Trinity. Upper Trinity.
Okay. It'll do.
I try to get Holt, but unfortunately, I think the Holt end might be fully sold out with season ticket holders. I think it's a pretty hot property up there. But
that Coupe de Villa push.
Yeah, look, apparently we don't have enough pull at the moment.
Get Peter With to have a word.
Yeah. Peter With should be getting me a box up there. I think.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not to be. And I'll sit anywhere. I could sit in the back row, at the North Stand in the worst seat in the world. I'll sit in the away end if I had to watch Villa play at Villa Park. It's absolutely special. And then finishing off at Leeds at Ellen Road, which would be feisty. Obviously, Villa and Leeds have a bit of history, so it'd be nice.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a interesting game. And Aman, like who were your sort of standouts? Like let's talk about the game and let's see, like who surprised you the most? I mean, we talk about Ashley Young. He obviously had a bit of a storm. Was there anyone else that sort of raised their game from previous weeks that you saw?
I think Young, coming on, just great performers. Like he was my man of the match. Absolutely dominated, turned back the clock. Someone that probably, playing like, he wanted to send a message to everyone. Don't forget that I'm still here. I'm an Aston Villa player. I can still do the job. But other than him, was impressed by Douglas Luiz. I hope that he can get a run of games now in that sort of position next to Kamara, and I think we will see him do well. He might have a few slip ups, I think, but we saw the quality. He played that ball into Watkins with the shot that Ollie dragged wide, but that was a quality ball.
Yeah.
So I think he played well, and I think anyone that watches Douglas Luiz has always known that if he gets put in his right position, he'll be able to do really well. And was also impressed with Watkins, actually. I think his hold-up play was really good, was able to link up with the midfielders really well. Just obviously, sometimes finishing and positioning isn't the best. So hopefully you can
I had Watkins as my player of the match just because of the work rate and the fact that he got us up the field. He held the ball really well. He ran into the channels. He did all the sort of dirty work that you need to do as a sort of lone striker against a team like City. I thought he was fantastic.
I think there's someone we're forgetting, that we're all probably impressed by, and that's probably Steven Gerrard. Tactics were on point. We were just set up great. We've done what we had to do. This might be a negative formation, but it works. So, and I mean, we're talking Man City. We're talking potential going to win the league, well, the champions from last season. It's funny that we actually done well against them end of last year too. And then when they just kind of went to shit, we were just consistent. And really, I feel like we probably could have buried the game more than them. I think Digne probably deserves a little bit of praise because defensively, a bit sus. I did see the stats, and he had was it 86% pass accuracy or something, and he won all these aerial duels and just a lot of good stuff. I think he's actually working on his defense. It was the last game or the one before where he's done that backtrack and that sliding tackle. It didn't work out for us in the end, but he's done really well. So I think this could almost be, not going to win the league, but I think this will be a big springboard game if we can back it up next week. And it'll almost be like that confidence we gave Leicester that year when they went to win the league. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I think, there's not that much of a gap between us and teams like Liverpool that are, they're struggling as well for wins, and a lot of the big four teams. So I think it's going to be a wide open league. I think it's going to be one of those weird seasons.
Definitely. I think Martinez as well needs a mention.
Yeah, we expect that.
I know.
I know.
He was good. He was good, but he has been probably our most consistent player so far this season. So him and Kamara.
Our captain.
Yeah.
It's funny that Kamara's just Kamara. He's just a he's going to play well no matter what. So kind of just ignored him. But he's a superstar on all levels. It's kind of scary that, what is he, 21, 22? He's still got so much growth. And I really hope that we can hold on to players like him.
And with Luiz there, he looks so much more secure.
I'm telling you, Dendoncker will come in for McGinn. And I don't know if anyone's watched. Dendoncker's a baller. I think really unlucky to not start for Wolves.
He ran us off the park 2 years in a row at Villa Park and at Molyneux.
He's box to box. He's got a big engine, and he's actually really good. Proper moves you're going to use in the game. You see all these flicks and shit, like the way he uses his body, and he's a ball winner. He's an absolute ball. And I said him, Kamara, and Luiz. Luiz has been playing with a lot of toughness in him. That's a tough midfield. And I said, you got Mings in the back. I think it was Mings, Martinez, and there was another one, just complete leadership when we were kind of clearing the ball. There was, I think, a phaser play for them. We got like 3 bodies behind the ball and a save from Martinez.
Would have been young.
That would have been young too, but it's like we want to win. we've got it in us now, and I hope that that's the mojo. I don't know if Gerrard's changed tactics at training. I don't know if he's sprayed the players. Maybe he's been too nice and missed the professional. I'd rather him be an absolute prick and just give him a spray, and maybe they need to hear it, because at the end of the day, if he gets the sack, the players are also accountable for it.
I think he gave himself a spray, to be honest, because some of his comments after the match looks like he put his ego aside. So
100%.
hopefully that continues, and we can see the Aston Villa that we all know that we should be able to see.
And I said, maybe he's trying to play the professional card too much. I said, technically unproven in the Prem. Go back to the basics. Go back to what works. We're all speculating. Was it Beale leaving? He had a war chest. If he's going to go, Perslow's got to go with him. We'd all love him to succeed, because that means the club's going to do well. We really hope that it does. I think Dendoncker and Bednarek are two good signings, though. I don't know if maybe we didn't have enough budget, but yeah, I
heard some other podcasts, some just football podcasts I listened to the other day, and they were criticizing Dendoncker and Benderek signing, saying that they were just, we're signing players that aren't even getting a game for these clubs that we should be better than, and I was, but we needed the bodies first of all. We needed somebody in there. We needed defenders. We needed a defensive midfielder. Dendoncker is flexible. He can play either role. And, he's a Belgium international. He has, played well against us before and played well for Wolves and been a staple in their side for a few years. Now they've gone, fully Portuguese now. So
they've ascended to that next level. Wolves are going to be in the 8. You can see the moves they're making, the plays they're signing, the football they're playing. They're moving. Now they've kind of ascended. They're kind of like West Ham 2.0, pushing up, where we're still behind that. We thought we'd be on par. Even Newcastle now. You can start to see clean sheets, starting to make that push, big money signings like Isak. So when people criticize Dendoncker, yes, we're signing, I guess, technically a reject from a really good side pushing up. Like, they got rid of Connor Cody too. I thought that guy would be, like a stable starting defender. Yeah. They're moving. They're parting ways. Thanks for the memories, but we've got to leave without you. But Dendoncker is better than what we have, and he will start in our team. That's the other thing. He'll start 9 times out of 10.
And certain players, have a value, different value for different teams. Like you said, we needed that player more than Wolves did. And let's hope he works out well.
Belgium, doesn't he? People criticizing. Well, you've got to be pretty decent to start for that team.
Definitely, yep. And he's been a good player in the Premier League for a while now. So looking forward to seeing how he goes, if he gets over his sore throat or whatever it was that kept him out. I was like, get this guy some strepsils before kickoff. Come on, man. We're going to get absolutely flogged here, but it didn't work out that way. The midfield 3 were excellent, I thought. And good to see Ramsey back to a bit of form, traveling with the ball, especially in that second half. And I thought he was a bit quiet first half, but second half, he showed that in that more advanced position, maybe he can give us something off that left-hand side that we don't get from a Coutinho or a Buendia, when we need a bit more energy and a bit more pace. What do you think about that?
Was that to me?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna lie, no one else here is named
anyone.
No,
just jump. Anyone can jump in.
No, no, definitely. I think on the left gave us some energy. Just power, was able to sort of come inside as well and sort of overload that central midfield. I think is really good. So good to see his versatility being in there. And I think it's probably better for him, to start off on that left-hand side. It gives him a little bit more freedom, I think, because we all know he's got the potential to be a really, really good central midfielder. But right now, him starting in central midfield, occupying that space, he probably isn't to that level at the moment. Whereas if he starts on the left and drifts in, he's got sort of more space to occupy, less people around him to pick the ball up in. We saw with his assist as well, sort of in that left half space, drive forward, ping the ball across. I think it could work well. It was good all-round team selection from Stevie G.
Definitely. Got to give Stevie G credit. We've been criticizing him all season. And he's deserved it, but I think this game he deserves some praise.
Absolutely. I have a question, by the way, so I just want to say, Jack Grealish, how's the view from the sidelines, brother?
Well, that's not really a question. It's more of a statement, Tommy.
I did see a lot of love for the kids after the game,
and before. It was before the game as well.
look, we slayed him, we give him shit. I take him back in a heartbeat. He would definitely elevate this team. Start every game. So could I see a cheeky 50, 60 million bid if he doesn't get what he wants at City? I mean, he's won a title, so whether he played big contribution towards that or not, I could see them taking a bit of a loss and go and injecting that into another superstar like Haaland, who only costs like 70 when you invoke his release clause. It's ridiculous. They got him.
It is insane.
Can we just like have a bit of a Haaland praise sesh? I think we forget how good this guy's doing in the Prem.
We had him on lock. I thought we did incredibly well on him.
Yeah, we had him on lock, but he still finds that's the thing. Like
I would have scored that goal, Tommy. If I had that service from De Bruyne, I would have scored that goal.
Yeah, but I did find it a little bit embarrassing, some of the memes and some of the stuff going around on Villa Twitter, like that Tyrone Mings had him in his back pocket and all this sort of stuff.
I hated that.
I'm like, come on, man. He still scored.
I'm like, that's a bad thing, and he still finds the bat. But
is it because he didn't score 7? Is that why he was in the back pocket? Like, yeah.
Exactly. Like if we'd won the game and he hadn't got a goal and had a quiet game, sure, but that's not exactly what happened. So
ahead of ourselves. Yeah, but also, what a performance by Mings, captain. Well, for me, he could be the captain all day. But what a performance! Just leadership, guts. I think we saw there was like a stat earlier in the season where it was like if Mings had started, he would have thrown his body at these, and it could have been a completely different outcome for Villa right now. But we really need him. This guy puts his body on the line when we need it. Yes, he has a mistake 10 in him, but we are a better team with and without him. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but it's the way it is.
And hopefully he can get some form and we can get some clean sheets starting off next week, hopefully. But no, I wanted to touch on the atmosphere at Villa Park. I thought it was fantastic. That second half, we've seen the videos of Villa on tour, and we were watching the game, all of us, and it seemed like that sort of atmosphere that you get on a night match, that at Villa Park when there's a big team coming. There was the whole team were full of voice. There was a good banter between the away fans and the home fans, singing, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. All that sort of stuff was great. And and apparently it wasn't a sellout. There was a few tickets still remaining. So considering it was our first home game of the season, wasn't a sellout. It was great atmosphere.
I mean, I think that's something you're always going to get with Villa. I mean, we're obviously struggling, but no matter what, obviously they're going to back the team. And obviously the things aren't going well. They want the manager, but they're still going to back the team. And I think it was on the Claret and Blue podcast, they said that they were chanting Stevie G's Claret Blue Army, really early into the game. I guess that's kind of saying we're still with you, mate. Like they're still going to back you. And even though we're playing shocking football. And then I think when the team starts fighting, the crowd just grows. And obviously, Aman, you've been to Villa Park recently, like I have. Like when the team's performing, it just, the whole place lifts and they back the team. And they would have seen from the get-go that, they're up for the fight. I mean, if Kyle Walker had squared that in the 3rd minute to Haaland, who knows what the atmosphere would have been like around Villa Park. But they showed a bunch of fight, and the crowd reacted with it accordingly. And I think it really should be a turning point. I really think we got to start just doing the basics right, and we did do the basics right, and then I think things might happen for us. But touching on the Jacob Ramsey thing, right?
Yeah.
How good he is at carrying the ball, how good he is at passing the ball. It's his only 2nd assist for Aston Villa. Now, a bit of a question for the open table. Who's his other assist against, and who was it for?
Coutinho, wasn't it, against Man United?
First game.
Aman goes bang. So, so a player of his caliber that's doing a lot of dribbling and really, really good on the ball,
needs to give
a lot more assists than that.
Yeah, needs to give it off more by the sounds of it.
Yeah, he does. But I'll tell you what, it's nice seeing another academy graduate playing on the left-hand side, just like old times.
Yeah.
That's right, definitely. And
when is Archer going to get a fucking run, all right? Ings is back. Pick Cam in there. We need to see it.
Well, he's meant to be in the squad, though. That's what I don't get.
Position called Cam. Just play him there. It's his name.
Play him in goals.
Play him at Cam. Cam squared.
Well, it'd be great to see him a bit more. I mean, I guess that this might not have been the game for him.
No,
but,
definitely not. But Carney got chucked in last year.
Kid scored against the full strength Chelsea in the FA Cup. We're forgetting that, yeah. So let's.
And Carney got brought on against Man City last year. So I think you're never going to know if it's your game until you put it in.
I love how we got rid of Chucky's brother as soon as he left. He was just +1, mate.
It literally was, though.
It was just the policy.
It was part of the Chelsea deal, maybe. Who knows? But he hasn't even got a minute for them, I don't think, so far, has he? He hasn't even come off the bench. So, Yeah, good luck to you over there, Carney. But I just wanted to touch on something a couple of weeks ago. I didn't mention it in the last video because we had Simon on and got a little bit sidetracked. But we had Frank Caritas comment on our video. Former Villa player from the 70s. And I just want to say thanks, Frank, for watching. And it was a great honor to have an ex-villain in the comment section. So I hope you enjoy tonight's video. And hopefully comment again soon. It was fantastic. So there's that. We're getting some good views. We're getting some good support. And it's been fantastic so far.
Almost 400 subs.
Almost 400. So make sure that you're the 400 sub. So get on there, make sure that you've hit the bell for the notifications for when we drop our videos, and like and subscribe and all that. And let us know in the comments what was your most pleasing sort of factor in the game against Man City. What did you like to see? Who do you think stood out? Who do you think needs to play in the next match? Do you think this will buy Steven Gerrard some time? All that sort of stuff. And we will touch on any questions in the next video for sure. It's Leicester away. It's going to be a huge one. It's a 6-pointer, definitely for us. And like you guys have already said, that if this is the turning point that we all hope it's going to be, if we go and get beaten 2 or 3-0 by Leicester, then it's going to feel like a real slap in the face, and we're going to be back where we were before, back in that bottom 3. So we don't want that. We want to see Ollie and Ings and anyone that anyone is Bailey keep going with the goal scoring. So looking forward to that. Just so should we get on to predictions for Leicester?
Just before we do, I think we had a call Gary Mackay comment on one. It was either the last one or the one before. So Gary, always he basically said like, just found this channel, couldn't be happier. Fantastic to hear Aussie voice was talking depth about the club I've supported for 40 years. And I don't think he ever thought he'd go to watch Villa. So them coming down was massive for him. So Gary, if you are watching this, we're all on our Facebook, and we're part of the Aston Villa Fans in Australia page. So Scott and I, we're Aman as well, we're moderators. So basically everyone is important except Noah. But feel free to jump in the group. A lot of like-minded Villa fans, Australian-based. Some probably aren't, but the majority of us are. So Aston Villa fans in Australia, Gary.
Yeah, got a few thousand members in that as well.
Good community. A couple thousand. So like-minded people, and I'd love to see.
It's a good, friendly place to talk about the games and follow the match thread, and we all have a good laugh on there. And there was a couple of other things I wanted to get to that I forgot. There's first of all, happy Father's Day. My dad Jeff, happy Father's Day, Jeff, and he's a big fan of the channel, of course, and happy Father's Day to all the villain dads out there. Second of all,
your children or don't know them or aren't even aware you have them.
That's it. Any kind of dad, and I think I'll just leave it there. And the other one I wanted to get to quickly just before we leave is it's the 30-year anniversary of the Premier League. So I want to just, from all of you, your favorite memory of the Premier League. Villa, maybe one Villa and one just general.
The last 30 years, Villa fans have probably been fucking horrific, if anything, but I'm sure there's some positives in there, Scott.
I'm sure you can come up with one positive.
For me, it has to be when we went up from the Championship, because I've been.
I'm glad that's Premier League stuff there.
10 to 15 years, mate. We got back to the Prem, all right.
Okay, well, I guess that technically counts. Getting promoted to the Premier League, definitely a huge one. So what about a general one, just for football?
Agbonlahor returning, and he scored this pearler of a goal against Blackburn Rovers. From the left.
Oh yes, I know the one.
I remember that. I was in Adelaide at my cousin's wedding, and
wasn't that in the FA Cup? That's not Premier League.
That was Premier League. That was Premier League.
He was getting back. He's a bit of a fat fucker. And anyway, we still love you, Gabby. Get on the shisha. And so they had the TV on, and Villa was the first game, and I'm loving it because I'm like, oh, it's my team. So I remember at the wedding, I was just chanting like so much when we scored it. I think we ended up winning 3-2. So that's my memory. One of my main memories of Villa. What about you guys?
I'll jump in because I wasn't meant to be first, but thanks anyway, Tommy, for jumping in. Obviously, I'm a bit of a younger generation fan, so my knowledge is only from about 2006-ish, 2007, but it has to be beating Birmingham 5-1. For me, that was the ideal thing beating the Scum. They're shit anyway. Going to go down this year, hopefully. And general, I think I can't go past Leicester winning the league. Like an unbelievable achievement for, well, they 500 to 1 or something, and some guy bet on them to go down and to win the league. That was honestly incredible. And I think only Jamie Vardy's the only one that's actually left in that amazing squad, and I think Kante and Mahrez's the only ones left still playing. So I mean, I don't think we'll ever say something like that again, unless it's Villa, and then
not a gambling man, but just a cut in. It was the year the Chicago Bulls won the Major League Baseball, and the year the Bulldogs won the AFL. And if you put Leicester, Bulldogs, Cubs in a multi, $10 returned about 2.5 million. So that's the odds of all three.
It was incredible.
Fantastic. What about you, Aman? Anything?
Most recent one, Villa one, Grealish scoring at West Ham to like kind of keep us up. I think that was a really good moment. The 3-2 against Man City, Kozak, Andy Wyman, Bakuna as well.
No, the celebration, Wyman's to the fans,
yeah.
I remember that.
And then also I think I'd love us to sign a player like him again, but I don't think people comprehend how good Christian Benteke was at Aston Villa.
He was short to sign for a reason.
he was someone that could actually score a goal just off his own back. Like it was not someone that you need to put the ball in the box into or playing through or do something. He could literally just win a 50-50, go past one player and score a goal. We haven't got a striker like that.
I don't care where he went. Look, he was a bit of a punt. Like, let's be honest, Wesley could have been the same because he was just unproven in the Prem. But I remember the first game, he kicked it over the keeper's head, and I think it was Swansea. Yeah, he came on as a sub, kicked over the head, and that started his, 22-goal season. But he carried that club for about 2-3 years, and he probably should have left after year one. He had the big club circling from day one. So I will always love Benteke, even though he left us on, we went down not long after it, but still.
Well, I'm a bit older than you guys, so one of my first memories I remember having on the old VHS was a match away at Spurs. I think it was about 92, 93. We won 5-2 after being 2-0 down. Tony Daly, Cyril Regis, Dwight York all scored that day, and it was a fantastic match. I remember just having that on a loop for about 6 months, and of course I have to mention the 7-2 against Liverpool. That was fantastic. That game is so
underrated. It's so underrated.
Peace for a week. I've never been so happy. I was like Villa fans walking into work on a Monday because it's more the fans that I just wanted to shut up, and I thought we wanted to do something special that year.
Yeah, it's such a shame that there was no crowd for that match, but it was just unbelievable. Just goals raining in from everywhere. Grealish, Barkley, McGinn, Watkins, Ollie, all on fire.
Only get a hat trick.
A first half hat trick, and then McGinn got a massively deflected goal with Barkley and Grealish.
Yeah, everything went our way that day. There was deflected goals, there was mistakes.
That's where we started this. That's when I saw Grealish do it the first time. So.
Yeah, for their Avengers group chat.
Is that what I thought?
Yeah, that's what it's because
James Madison.
This was funny thing. I saw they're like, what does this stand for? And on YouTube, one of those guys like anal. Villa straight up bummed them.
Oh my god. Well,
we get around the Avengers.
On that note, we'll wrap up. Thanks again for all your support. Please like and subscribe again, and we will be back for Leicester City away next week, and Noah will be in the UK. So we'll see you then. Up the Villa.